Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel if you're new. Hi, my name is Anexis, my pronouns are they, them, and I am an author, content creator, and freelancer. So hello and hope you enjoy the content enough to stay. In today's video, I'll be talking about House of Flame and Shadow by SarahJ.Maas, which has yet to come out. It's supposed to come out in a few months on January 30th, 2024. So yeah, you still have time to look into it. I'm very excited to talk about this book because I have reviewed pretty much every SarahJ.Maas book in her SarahJ.Maas universe. So with the, like I mentioned in the video, with the exception of Catwoman Soul Stealer, which is something she wrote for DC Icons, I have read every single book SarahJ.Maas has written. I've loved every single one of them, and I have no doubt I'll love this one too. And I'm very excited to talk about my thoughts on the plot. But before we get into the video, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. That way you're aware when I release videos. Give it a thumbs up as well if you like it, and comment down below. I can't wait to have a conversation with you. If you'd like to support me, consider getting my debut book, Daughter of Death. It is available for pre-order in a bunch of different retailers. I'll link the ebook in the description as well as the pinned comment, and also the audiobook will be linked in the pinned comment and also the community post. So they'll be linked there as well. So Daughter of Death is the first book in a series called Child of Death, which follows Vivian, a half deity who has been discovered in the mortal realm, and now she and her family have to adjust to new changes. So if you like this idea and short stories as well as family and in a fantasy setting, get my book. It might be the right book for you. If you would like to read it before the official release date, there are a few things you can do. One, you can participate in the pre-sale I'm hosting through Smashwords, which will be available until release date, December 26, 2023. Also, you can get it through my Ko-fi shop, which we'll talk about Ko-fi in a minute, which also can be there beforehand. You can get it before there. Or if you would like, you can email me. My email is in the description, and I will be happy to give you an ARC in exchange for a review. Thank you so much for that, if you choose to do that. So everything will be in the description. And speaking of Ko-fi, you can also support me on Ko-fi with a one-time donation, or you can look at my shop and get my ebook, as well as hire me for a range of services, including audio description critiques, beta reading, and ghostwriting for poetry. With that in mind, I will let you go back to the video. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you on the other side. Guys, it's time to talk about House of Flame and Shadow. This is the third book in the Crescent City series by SarahJ.Maas. I'm so excited. I'm excited because A, it is SarahJ.Maas, and B, this is the first SarahJ.Maas book for which I am doing a blind anticipates video on. Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. By the way, if I haven't, I'm gonna mention it now. If you're new, spoilers, because we're gonna be talking about the Crescent City and most likely other parts of SarahJ.Maas work. I have reviewed every SarahJ.Maas work in the SarahJ.Maas universe. The only thing I haven't read written by SarahJ.Maas is something that she wrote for the DC Icons series, and it is Catwoman Soul Stealer, I think is what it's called, or something in that form. So she did write for that, and that is something I did not read. But everything in the SarahJ.Maas verse, being Throne of Glass, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and Crescent City, I have read, and I have loved, and will most likely be rereading this year. And I'll be rereading everything probably. Actually, no, I know I'll be rereading everything from the beginning in preparation for this book, because I need to know everything. and I need to be prepared. So I'm going to be reading from Throne of Glass to Crescent City, probably starting in December. Maybe December. But I'm going to be doing some SarahJ.Maas rereading starting sometime this year and next year. I'm excited, okay? I'm excited. This is a good thing. So let's talk about House of Flame and Shadow, which will be released in 2024. I'm so sad that we're not getting, as far as I know, we're not getting any SarahJ.Maas books this year. But hey, if we do, don't worry. I'll be happy to read it and review it. So here we go. Bryce Quenlin never expected to see a world other than Midgard, but now that she has, all she wants is to get back. So, the second book, House of Sky and Breath, ended with them kind of getting caught by the rulers of Midgard, which turns out that they are basically weak and stealing magic. I forgot what their names were the group. I forgot what it is. But they're basically the kind of like the Midgard overlords who kind of handle everything and stuff like that. So that is who they are. And we find out all about them and stuff like that. So we find out that their evil plan was basically kind of what they want is they kind of are using kind of everyone to feed in a way to like feed off them and everything. We also find out that in the first book, I believe, we find out that there's the first light and then there's the second light, and then we find out that technically there's really no afterlife. They're just there until people stop missing them, and then the guy who runs the Bone Quarter basically eats them or takes the remainder of their power. Actually, wait, no, we find that in the second book, not the first book, the second book. So I thought that was a really interesting, interesting development, in so much world building in this. So that is some of the things we find out. So they are stuck there in this area. And meanwhile, they managed to help Bryce escape into the portal to try to get Hell's armies to help her. But she ends up in the world she ends up in Valeris, which is in a Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, there has been a theory for a long time that I kind of saw it when I was reading Throne of Glass and the Court of Thorns and Roses. I did see, oh my god, these worlds are kind of part of the same universe or universes or something that SarahJ.Maas was making. I kind of saw it when I was reading it, like these things are kind of very similar. They're in the same universe. Lo and behold, there was also a theory that at some point these stories, all her stories would cross over. And lo and behold, they have, because she is in Valeris, and literally the last line of the House of Sky and Breath is something along the lines of, well, Bryce Quenlin, I'm Rhysand. So, they have crossed over. They have crossed over a bit. And I'm super excited for it because I have predictions as to what is going to happen. Because we did get references to the worlds in Throne of Glass, and we also got a little bit reference of that in A Court of Silver Flames. Especially we literally got a reference to Aelin, and in Throne of Glass we got a reference to Feyre being pregnant. So there is definitely some stuff. At least the Court of Thorns and Roses and Crescent City are gonna cross over somewhere in there, because it turns out that the sword that she has, the blade, is also the companion to Truth Teller. It seems to be. There's also some There's also some stuff about what is it? Oh, there's also some stuff about like that they revealed about, you know, some of the that the overlords of sorts kind of revealed about some of the things that they did to other realms, and that they've kind of hopped from one world to the next. They kind of took the resources of one, left it, and even tried to manipulate hell, and they saw right through it and literally expelled them and we find out that hell's another planet. It is so many things. There are so many things. But anyway, now let's get back. Okay. Everything she loves is in Midgard. Her family, her friends, her mates. Ah, yes, she also mated with Hunt, or Orion, whatever you want to call him at this point. So she did mate with him. It was kind of adorable. They had teleporting sex. That was funny. Stranded in a strange new world, she's going to need all her wits about her to get home again. Okay. So that makes sense, but I already have a feeling that they're going the inner circle and Reese and Farah are just kind of gonna, you know, they're kind of gonna welcome her. But I also feel like Nesta and her are gonna be really good friends. Although the way they'll communicate would be, I think, it's gonna be a bit difficult, um, only because she Reese and Amryn are kind of like the only ones that speak the old Fae language, and that is the only way she can communicate because she can't speak their language. Okay. And that's no easy feat when she has no idea who to trust, which makes sense. Makes sense that she has no idea who to trust. Okay. Hunt Athalar has found himself in some deep holes in his life, but this one might be the deepest of all. Ah, yes. He's back in this area, in the worst place for him. Oh, Hunt, darling. A few brief months with everything he ever wanted. He's in that's their name, the Asteri. The Asteri's dungeon again, stripped of his freedom and without a clue as to Bryce's fate. So, yeah, they're called the Asteri. I forgot their names. They're called the Asteri. And the Asteri are basically powerless overlords who have managed to steal power. And they're not magical. They cannot do anything. But somehow they have managed to get people on their side. So, yep. He's desperate to help her, but until he can escape the Asteri's leash, his hands are quite literally tied. Which makes sense. So sad, though, for him. I feel so bad. In this sexy, breathtaking sequel to the #1 bestsellers of House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath, SarahJ.Maas's Crescent City series reaches new heights as Bryce and Hunt's world is brought to the brink of collapse, with its future resting on their shoulders. So there are a couple of things that I do want to predict here. The first thing is we're probably going to learn that what are their names? That Rune's power of like telepathy is very similar to Reese's power. And she also thought that Reese looked like Rune. So they're very similar. Now the question is, this is reminding me a little bit of the prophecy, which there is a prophecy that says that Rune will be the last king of the last Autumn King, I think. So the thing I'm thinking is that maybe Reese will take over as king at some point. That would be kind of cool. But also, I'm thinking that maybe there is going to be definitely some kind of confirmation that the telepathy power that Rune has is very similar to Reese's, because, and even Farah's. So that's what I think will happen. The next thing I think is that maybe she'll learn how to Bryce will learn how to use her power. And by the way, the one thing I want to say also, SarahJ.Maas is doing her, what I'm gonna call her mark. A bit of one of the things that she does. So in the third book of each of her series, her characters are separated and each have like a different objective to follow, and there are two different storylines that are kind of interconnected in different ways. So I feel like she's doing her usual thing that she kind of does now. Currently, Bryce has kind of already gone through her healing arc, and she's kind of doing better and healing slowly. So I don't think she'll necessarily go through a healing arc. Instead, she'll try to find her way back home, and I think that the inner circle are gonna help her out. That's what I think is gonna happen, right? But it is very possible that Hunt gets a healing arc, because he's gone through a lot of different things while he's trying to figure out how the fuck to get out of where he is with the austerity. I think there's a possibility that he will get his own healing arc, and I think that's great. But the one thing that happens, I'm going to talk about a little bit Throne of Glass and also ACourtOf. So Throne of Glass has what is her name? Aelin. Has Aelin actually has her going to work closer to where Maeve is in the Heir of Fire. In Heir of Fire, yeah. In Heir of Fire, she's much closer to where Maeve is, and she's not there, so we kind of follow the point of view of Dorian. We follow his story in this one. We also follow Kale, and we meet her cousin Adian, and in her end we meet Rowan, and we meet Fenris, and we meet pretty much everybody else. Is going to become a really big deal in the rest of the series. But here she does go through a healing arc, and she faces her issues and her very, she faces her trauma, and she goes through this healing arc. In A Court of Thorns and Roses, Feyre goes through a healing arc in book 2, which is the A Court of Mist and Fury, but she is separated from Rhys and her friends and her found family in book 3, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin, and we follow her point of view as she does stuff. We also get another healing arc, technically, for Nesta in A Court of Silver Flames. I think SarahJ.Maas is really good at making healing arcs really memorable, and it kind of works for me. I love them. And in Crescent City, we do have Bryce go through a healing arc in the first book and a little bit in the second book, and there may be another one in the third book, but I feel like the third book is going to be, we're going to be following all the point of views, but all the stories are going to be interconnected, kind of like what she did in Heir of Fire, and I'm very excited to see that. The other thing I think will definitely happen, I don't think anything regarding Throne of Glass will be here yet, but I wonder if Throne of Glass will be in the story. Will be in a crossover soon. I feel like eventually what's the name of this? I feel like eventually it'll be a part of it, or it'll be like mentioned maybe. It may have been referenced in the last book and I can't remember, but I have a feeling that it'll be a thing. But I'm kind of curious about how that's gonna go, and how we're gonna get stuff, and how things are gonna go for I can't remember. Why can't I remember her name? for Bryce. I have a feeling she's gonna learn how to use her power a little bit more. Maybe she'll learn more about the legend of Thea and pretty much all the legends, and maybe she'll learn more secrets that are kind of really important that are going to help her on the war. And somehow I feel like the inner circle is going to get involved in this, even though they are technically going through their own war in their world, right? Or they may be going through their own war in their own world. So I'm kind of curious about how that's all going to play out, but I'm also very excited to see how it's all going to play out. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on House of Flame and Shadow. What are you predicting? So I don't know when this will be posted. However, the book is supposed to come out January 30th, 2024. I don't think there's a pre-order for this yet. Let me see if there's a pre-order on Audible. Hold on. We're about to check if there's a pre-order, because I think if there is, I'll be pre-ordering as soon as I can. So let me see if there's a pre-order. I have not pre-ordered yet, but it is January, so it is possible that there won't be a pre-order until, like, say 3 months in advance. I will say not much like mine. I made my pre-order like 9 months in advance. That way I have enough time. I give myself a big timetable, and I also give it enough time. Okay, no results showed up, but I also give myself enough time to market and all that stuff, but also just give it enough time to just appear, you know? But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. There's no pre-order as of recording, but don't worry. I'm pre-ordering this book when it comes out, or when it's available for me to pre-order. I'll be checking, because I am pre-ordering. I'm so excited. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and we'll talk. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts of House of Flame and Shadow and your predictions. Remember that it will be coming out on January 30th, 2023. Unless that has changed. I've not looked at Goodreads since. So unless that has changed, that's when it will be coming out. Still, the pre-order on Audible is not available. I don't know why, but it's not. And I'm waiting. At least I looked and I didn't see any Audible pre-order, but I'm waiting. So hopefully very soon. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you're aware when I release videos. Yeah, if you would like to support me and my channel, consider getting my debut book. All links are in the description and the pinned comment for both ebook and audiobook. You can also support me on Ko-fi with a donation, getting the ebook directly through my shop, or hiring me for a range of services, including audio description critiques, beta reading, and ghostwriting for poetry. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, consume stories. Bye!